Oh, hey, Bog, you want to go fishing? High five for fishing.
What is going on, fishing bros and broettes? I got my boy Bog in the truck, so you guys are gonna see him today. We are out on beautiful Smith Lake, and it's fall. Absolutely gorgeous. I love this time of year. The leaves change. You get some beautiful sunrises and sunsets. It's epic, dude. It's one of my favorite times of year. There's also less people out, which is always kind of nice. But what we're gonna do in this video is, you see a lot of like YouTube videos and pro videos about fishing in fall with a lot of like power baits, you know, like a spook, an A-rig, jerk bait, things along those lines. A lot of times though, it takes more finesse approaches. So what we're gonna do is talk about techniques and rigs and applications, like actually how to do it, of how to finesse fish for some of these fall bass, which is a huge tool because a lot of times you're dealing with very tiny bait, especially in clear water situations. So you need to adapt, do some different things, downsize, and trick them fish to get some extra bites. So if you like grassroots fishing, down home fishing, none of that BS that you find on all those other YouTube channels, hit that like and subscribe button. Let's go play around with some finesse fall techniques. Let's go. Go. Let's get it, boys. You want to catch some bass? So do I. Little fall fishing. This is one of the baits right here. Shower blow, little popper. And actually, oh, we lost it. Can you see him down there? There's a group, and there was a group right there up top. So that's a fun way to do it, right? Little guy, very little guy, very little guy. I'm just working this like a walk the dog kind of deal. It's just a very subtle kind of pop and walk. Acts a lot like a fluke, and obviously the water's super flat, so it has very little. That's the one. Dude, that's a big one. I don't know how big. Did you see the way that fish ate that bait, dude? Oh, that's a big. I hope it isn't a striper. Is that a stripe? I think it's a stripe. Darn it, it's a stripe. Look at that thing. I saw him coming from a mile away. I've been oh, do you see what he coughed up? That's what they're eating, dude. That right there, those little tiny minnows, dude. Bog likes to eat them too, which is disgusting, but. So that was some kind of badass cool. What actually happened is, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm in like 7 feet of water, but these fish are so related to bait that I actually tracked just a ball of bait with my forward-facing sonar. You can do it with your eyes too if you see them dimpling on the surface. I saw one fish come up under it, and I'm like, dude, this is my cast, this is my cast. Slang that spybait out there, past the bait, and just reeled, and that fish actually targeted my lure versus the bait. These fish can be anywhere. They can pop up in the middle of the lake, so being able to make those long casts, slang to them, and have something like that small, you're golden, bro. That was pretty cool. There she is. That's a better one. She's got the spy bait. Sometimes when they won't eat that, oh, there's one with her, dude. They're swimming with each other. Sometimes when they won't eat that top water, you can kind of basically burn, dude, there's like two with them. They want to know what's going on. There's another little one right there, and then there's this one. But sometimes they want just something that's a little under the water, and that spy bait works great. We did it with the smallmouth where you kind of, where you just burn it, and it almost acts like a topwater or like a really fast kind of Kitech kind of presentation. Freaking two behind it. That's a better one. Beautiful water. The old spy bait comes through. Oh yeah, that's a big one. Nice job. That's what we're looking for, boys. A certified spot on the old spy bait. I'm telling you, these guys are smallmouth. They just don't know it.
One of the big keys with all these casting presentations is long casts. And you know, we're on Smith, the water's like super clear here, but even if you're on a lake that has some stained water, the trick is there's a lot of bait around, and you really want that bait to kind of stay congregated until the bass actually smash on it. So you really want to make long casts, and that's why it's key with some of these casting lures like the shower blow or the spy bait. They're tiny, but they weigh enough where if you put them on 8-pound tests, maybe 14-pound braid, and like I got my little 610 KS Elite Halo, you can slang them, dude. Like, you can really launch them out there, and you can get past that bait. You want to make that long cast past the bait or past the schooling fish, and you want to bring it into them and make it really natural.
So things have slowed down quite a bit. So what we're going to do is sneak into some of these pockets and these creeks, and they offer docks, brush, maybe there's a tree that hangs over and creates some shade, some sort of faux low light, and that bait will move towards there, and these fish stay grouped up, but maybe they tend more towards the bottom or tighter to those shade oriented areas. So you can still use some of the same baits like that clear shower blow, the spy bait, but you also sort of integrate one more technique that I'm going to show you for picking these fish off one by one when you see them in little groups around this structure and cover.
Got you. That's a bigger one. That's what I'm talking about. Get in here. How about it, Bog? Kind of got to leave it down there a little bit longer. That's a little bit better spot, but we're just next to a dock, and I saw some brush, dropped on them, and boom. That just like a clear worm with that drop shot. There's some more too. But you kind of mimic that bait, just like dying and falling to the bottom or scooting around after it's been bonked once or twice. That's a better one, I think. Yeah. Yep, that's a big one. So what we did is, he took my worms. Not a giant, but a fat one. So we just kind of rolled into the mouths of these creeks, and there's a bunch of, let me get her back. Look how fat they are, dude. But there's a bunch of docks, and what happens is this pocket kind of comes up. So you get, like, you can see on Navionics, it sort of tapers up, and you can see the banks taper up as well. And these fish kind of get on the transition, and either there's brush out in front of the dock, or there's that little vertical thing, and I can use my forward-facing sonar to kind of identify where I'm seeing fish and literally just pick them off with this drop shot.
So let's talk about this drop shot thing. It's a standard setup, 3/8 ounce weight on the back, and then I have it's an Aaron Martin's Gamakatsu circle hook. This is an 8-pound Sunline Sniper. Then I have it to, I think it's 14-pound braid. Got it on my favorite Finesse rod. This is the KS2, the Halo. It's a 610. It makes me a little more accurate because what you're doing is either you're hitting the docks, you're hitting the shade lines, or you're seeing some fish out or maybe some brush in front of those docks or some kind of cover, and you're pitching to that, or you're pitching specifically to fish. It's a very accurate presentation. You're not really casting it out and dragging it around. Baits wise, everything is small, but sometimes I go super small. Like, for instance, I got these Nishine like little minnow things. They look just like bait, you know, super soft plastic, you can see how it just dangles and that, but really like straight tail kind of stuff. Part of the deal is it's like flipping, where the fall is super important. So the more plastic or the bigger bait you have on it, the slower the fall. You can always slow the fall with the weight. I don't want the bait to slow the fall. The other thing is the bait's small, so I don't want to go bigger. Like, my big bait right now is a 4.5 inch, like a rubble worm, kind of like this. You know, this is baby bluegill. I got the pink ones in there, stuff like that. And then I'll have, you know, power bait max scent, just like a little kind of stick bait looking thing. And then I got some net bait. These are the Crushworm Juniors, the 3.0. I really vary and play with the size. In the dead of day, when it's perfectly sunny, especially if there's clear water, I'll downsize. And then if I find some fish that are kind of active or a hot dock or something, I might up my size and go to that rubble worm, that 4.5 inch. But it's a lot of not catching, and then you run into a pot of them.
Oh yeah. You just figured out you were hooked, didn't you? That's a big old spot, dude. Coughing up all kinds of shenanigans. How about it, homies? I wish it was Lanier, but we will take it. Well, likes it. Got him. That's another decent one. Dude, they're so aggressive sometimes. It's crazy how it can go from absolutely nothing to like them absolutely chewing when they get on those pods of bait. Woo! You start juggling.
She got Mondo bright all of a sudden. We're gonna wrap today up. Bog is sleeping back there. He actually got kind of warm today. It was actually a really mild day for fall. But try some of these finesse techniques, like, you know, for instance, the shower blow, and definitely do it in the clear, especially if you have clear water. The bait's really small, and that clear sort of, it creates a disturbance without actually being like too over the top for these fish. The other thing being, you know, during the day it gets a little tough. Look for cover, get that drop shot out, just a little kind of clear, transparent worm. Or maybe if your water's got some color to it, grab that green. And then the other sneaky one, and I've really been playing a lot with this thing, and I absolutely love it because you can do a lot of stuff with it. Fishes a lot like a Kitech to an extent, and that's the spybait. And I'd highly recommend the Duo Realis. It has this little shimmy that's a little different from some of the other spybaits that are on the market, and it's compact, but you can bomb it. And, you know, you see a fish pop up like 30 yards away. Oftentimes with smaller baits, it's really hard to get it out there and cast it to them. With this thing on 8-pound test and a little spinning rod like my KS2, I can launch that thing, get out there, make a little subtle splash, and just start reeling it. And it's a hard bait too, so it creates a reaction. And I think that's really key to getting bigger bites this time of year. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Try some finesse techniques. Hit that like and subscribe button. We'll see you back out on the water or from the garage talking fishing.
Are you the king of video? Oh, video disruption? Swimsuit girl and Bog are video disruptions. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Oh, hello.